So yesterday, I took off work in order to attend the event on this t-shirt, which was the C-store operator Wawa opened their first ever travel plaza in Hope Mill, North Carolina, that had a Tesla supercharger attached to it. It wasn't the first one that had a Tesla supercharger, but it was the first one that was a travel plaza. And then that was Thursday, so I thought I'll just take Friday off too, and decided to burn the day and go hunt down some charging stations ahead of the 3-day weekend. And we're here in Middletown, Maryland, a good stretch up Interstate 95 at a coming soon IONNA rechargery. Let's go take a look at it. Very beautiful day, a little windy, so hopefully the drone's able to hold up. But the chargers are in the ground. The landscaping looks to be all leveled, ready for grass to be put back in. We don't have a transformer. We have one of the switch gears, but we're missing one of the other ones. And let me swing the drone around here so you can see the IONNA sign. There it is. So let's see, I see 6 CCS and 4 J3400, and a pet station over there attached to a very small strip mall that has a restaurant called Cinco de Mayo, a nail spa, and a restaurant with Italian food and seafood, as well as a Baskin-Robbins fast food restaurant. So, the asphalt is down, lines are painted, and I don't know if those foundations there, let me swing the drone around again just so you can see what I'm pointing at. So I don't know if those foundations that they have there are for a canopy. I suspect so, because those look like big boy. I don't think they're putting in light posts. I think those are actually going to be canopy. And it's actually easier probably to light a charging station with a canopy versus trying to put in light posts. But anyway, there you go. So where we are now in Maryland, and basically around Washington, D.C., there's a ton of IONNA stations that have PIPs both spotted in permitting and actually, like this one, known to be under construction in varying states of completion. And I thought it'd be fun. You know, I'm bringing you guys along, but the truth is I'm doing this for my own interest. I stare at these PIPs on PlugShare. I like to just go see these places. This for me is a fun thing to do, and it's a beautiful day, beautiful weather, and I have a day to kill before I have to sync up with my family at the beach for the 3-day weekend. And so let's go look at some more IONNA stations. Okay, this is New Market, Maryland, where they say there's going to be a rechargery. And then you can see right here, there's this marker. It says BL number 1, and it looks relatively new. Normally the wood gets weathered after a certain amount of time. So maybe it's going here. And PlugShare post indicated there was no progress, which is true. There is no progress here. I mean, the grass is cut and there is that marker. However, right over here, there's major construction going on. Now, I don't think this is the IONNA rechargery. Well, let's go over and take a look. It looks like what they're doing is storm drain maintenance or improvements is basically what this looks like. You don't need this size of heavy machinery in order to put in a rechargery, but maybe in order to get the land permitted for use as a rechargery, they had to improve the storm sewer system as well. But I don't know. There's a couple guys over there. I'm not going to interfere with them. I'm going to say no. This is definitely a storm drain getting fixed. I mean, maybe at some point in the future, this is where a rechargery is going to be, but I don't see any indication of any form of what I'd call plaza work or grading or anything like that. I just see crews working on stormwater drains. So I think it's safe to say that this is not going to be the location where the rechargery is going, and it is going to go over there near that survey marker. But if there's a survey marker, likely it's going through permitting, and they just needed the land marked. It's immediately behind a Popeyes, and then there's a CVS a little bit adjacent over there. So nice location, kind of close to the interstate, and on the outskirts of Washington, D.C., so all the people with EVs in the D.C. area who are venturing out to the mountains into Maryland will be able to stop here in order to refuel, or vice versa, coming back into D.C., being able to stop here before they get back into the hubbub that is Washington, D.C., which I'm not really looking forward to, because it looks like I'm going to be leaving D.C. during rush hour on Friday of a holiday weekend. So I'm probably going to be spending a good amount of time trying to get out of town. Let's go ahead and go to the next one, which is the Baltimore rechargery that has indication it's going to be getting a canopy.
This one I'm going to record from inside the car, because there are signs all over the place saying that you can't park here unless you're a patron, 2-hour limit, all kinds of things. And I'm not really sure what their plan is, but there is a sign out front saying there's a planning commission meeting on June 26th, which means it already took place, and it overtly mentions IONNA. So this is the right location. I just don't see where they're going to put it. Doesn't really make sense. I mean, this is heavily congested. All the parking spaces are taken. Across the road is like a popular market area that has all their parking spaces taken as well, and paid parking all around. So I'm not sure what their intentions are. I mean, we do have plans showing canopies and whatnot, but I'm thinking if they open up a electric vehicle charging station at this particular location, people are just going to show up and use it for parking, you know, maybe connect their cars, maybe not. I mean, IONNA doesn't charge fees if you finish charging before, without disconnecting. So people might just show up with like a 90% battery, plug in, and stay around for 2 hours or something. I'm not sure. But this will be interesting to see. It's definitely the right location, and definitely in the heart of Baltimore. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. Let's see. The next one is Laurel. Let's see, is that Laurel, Maryland? So that'll be the next rechargery location. See you there.
Okay, so this is a pretty tough neighborhood, it feels like, but we are close to the Baltimore-Washington Parkway, which is less than a quarter mile down that way. But let's walk the site. You can see it's for sale. No sign of progress whatsoever. It looks like it's formerly one of those gas stations that just has kind of like a hut thing. And empty lot, nothing going on here. We got apartments. We got a 7-Eleven over here, and a strip mall with a restaurant and a few other things in it, but most of the suites in that strip mall appear to be empty. So this is a kind of a rough area. I suppose what IONNA would be looking for this station for would be servicing people going down the parkway in between Baltimore and Washington. It's kind of what it feels like. No sign of progress, though. Let's go ahead and go on to the next one. Okay, now we're talking. We are at the last stop, which is in, shoot, I forgot to look. I just followed the blue dot on the way over here. Let me see what city I'm in. I am in Gainesville, Virginia, at a Sheetz. And if you pull this up on Google Street View, I think what you'll see is just a blank plot of land, because this Sheetz is brand new. Just freaking open. Super new facility, like a month old, something like that. And it was announced about the partnership between Sheetz and IONNA. And apparently, the way it works is similar to Buc-ee's and Tesla Supercharger. What happens with those is Buc-ee's will open the store, and then shortly after, the Tesla Supercharger team will show up and start putting in their station. And that is what we have here. The store was open. There was no indication of any construction occurring. But now we have Owl e-mobility with their fences up and their Sunbelt rental equipment on location. I do not see any chargers yet, but I might be able to guess how many chargers are going in. Let's see if we can take a look here. No, I don't think it's far enough along in order to be able to guess how many chargers there will be. I see the conduit is not run, it's still in its original bailings. We do have a couple of pedestals. This will obviously be where the transformer goes once they finish pouring the concrete and laying the conduit. Actually, they lay the conduit and then pour the concrete. So we have the pedestal for the transformer switchgear, and then I'm not sure what this will be, and then a certain number of chargers going down here, and their signature co-designed canopy for the sheet's locations. Very exciting. I think I'm the first one to spot this. I was able to put it into PlugShare, indicating no one else seemed to have noticed, and it looks like this is very new. So, good way to end it. That ends the pips that have been circling DC that I've been staring at for the past several months, and it's nice to actually come out here and finally see them. What I'm going to do now is head home after I do the family thing, so it's going to be a few days before I publish this video. I'm going to head home, collect my thoughts, and put some final thoughts into a short video in order to close this out.
Okay, I actually had a little bit of time before I'm ducking out in order to sync up with the fam. Decided to do the closeout portion of this video. And these are the pips that I'm referring to. And I didn't realize until after I got back home, I actually missed this one, the Gaithersburg one, but I don't think there's any progress there. It was encouraging to see the Middletown one moving along relatively quickly at IONNA speed. The New Market was the one where the storm sewer was under construction, and there was just a survey marker in the location where we believe the IONNA rechargery to be built. This is the one in Baltimore, very heavily congested area of Baltimore. It was slow moving in the traffic, tons of people out and about. All the parking spaces were flagged to be paid parking or patrons only, and places where there was general parking, all the spaces were occupied. So very heavily used area of the city. Looked like kind of like a trendy eatery sort of thing. So that's what I'm guessing was causing the high demand of parking spaces, where I really don't understand how IONNA is going to pull that one off, but we'll have to wait and see. But I'm sure they got a trick up their sleeve. This one here is Laurel. That was the one that was kind of like an abandoned lot in kind of a rough neighborhood. And I'm not sure what their intention. I think what they might be doing is just kind of throwing a permit out there to see if they get permission, but I don't know if they'll actually go through with that. So this one might get reversed. We don't have any indication from IONNA proper that they're going to do that. And then the last one here in Gainesville, where the sheets was just recently built, and on the heels of that, the IONNA station is going in. So a couple of things I found out in actually going to these sites. The ones that they do pull the trigger on occur quickly. The ones that seem to be suspect linger, and IONNA does reserve the right to change their mind. So us finding a permit is not a guarantee that IONNA is going to build a station. And very likely, I don't know, maybe a third of the permits out there won't actually turn into IONNA stations. So we have to keep our eyes more closely on what IONNA actually publishes, I think is kind of what I took away here. Although there is the one in Baltimore in a good location, and it actually was being referred to by IONNA on the public hearing sign, we haven't heard anything from IONNA specifically on this. All we have is design docs and the sign out there on the property indicating there was a meeting. So again, we have to wait for official confirmation from IONNA on that. So all in all, I found it to be an enjoyable trip, and glad to share a little bit of what it's like in real life out there in the charging landscape, because sometimes I can get pip fatigue just staring at PlugShare, and it's very refreshing to actually go out and see stations in real life. Hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching.